Hello everyone and welcome. This is Kirya Does Things. I'm Kirya, and today, of course, we're going to talk about the F1 Fantasy game and specifically the British Grand Prix that happened 2 weeks ago and the Hungarian Grand Prix that is currently going on. So, about Silverstone, first of all. I scored 169 points, which was pretty mid once again. Another not very good weekend. It was looking fine. Then, and after qualifying, it was looking okay. Then we had Gasly, who didn't even take part in the race. He didn't even start. So he was an instant minus 20. Even though we were hoping that Gasly is going to score some good points starting from last place. So I was pretty disappointed after that, and then I was hoping that at least Lando can take the win, but that didn't happen either, so we were looking like we will do terribly. However, the thing that saved me pretty much, I think, is the Russell DNF, because that meant that people that have Mercedes didn't score very well, and some people had Russell as well. So that was pretty much the only thing that saved my team. Other than that, Lando got okay points, 26 points, but no driver of the day that he's usually getting, because Hamilton got it after winning, which makes sense. So he scored some basic points here, Lando, and then I had good points from Haas as usually, and the Gasly one, as I said before, very unlucky. And Joe, whatever, he had -2. That's kinda what we expect from him. And then Red Bull and McLaren scored some decent points as constructors, but nothing amazing. So, let's see our ranking. Right now, I am about 3,500 in the world and 17th in Greece. So we keep on losing slightly compared to the big teams and the big guys. So we are in the mid in the halfway point. 12 races have happened and 12 races are going to happen. So we are looking okay, but still I am in a kind of bad run of form. If you can see here, after Monaco, which was really good because I went for the Leclerc 2 times that with Leclerc in Monaco. After that one, Canada was really bad, and then Spain, Austria, and Britain were also from mid to bad. So we are keep falling further and further down. Now, what about Hungary? Practice showed us basically that McLaren is again very strong. Probably with both cars, Lando seems like he's more comfortable. Maybe he has more experience in the track, of course, as well. Red Bull seemed quite strong yesterday, not crazy strong in FP3, but still Verstappen is obviously one of the favorites, if not the favorite, to get pole, to get the win, of course. And then there is probably a small gap between McLaren and Mercedes, and then a small gap between Mercedes and Ferrari. The rest of the midfield is kind of chaotic. I'm not really sure what is going on there, but I don't really think we're going to think about it that much. And that's because the general idea right now is to go for the 2A, 2 premium driver assets, which means that I have to, I can do 3 transfers, because I got one for free from the previous weekend. So I'm thinking, and a lot of people said the same thing, that I should probably go for something like get rid of these 2 decent assets, Magnussen and Gasly, for example. So these are 2 changes, 2 transfers, and then change Red Bull for Mercedes. And now I have enough money to go for something like Piastri and Sargent. For example, if I do this, I currently have 0.0 money, so it's perfectly enough my money to go for Piastri. If I don't want to go for Piastri, I can go for Sainz, but I don't think that it's a good idea, or Russell, which might be a good idea. So it's either Piastri or Russell, pretty much. I'm thinking Piastri mostly because McLaren seems a little bit faster in general, both in all practice sessions. They seemed better, they seemed more comfortable. Mercedes maybe isn't there to challenge for the win. Maybe they are slightly behind, but still good enough to have them as a constructor, of course. So I'm thinking either Piastri or George, probably Piastri, and something like this. However, one thing to consider is that there is a good chance that Verstappen gets some penalty because for Spa, for the next race, because he will probably take a new engine. If he does that, he will be a great asset to have in Spa in Belgium, because he will get a lot of positions gained and overtakes probably. So the thing is that this is fine. This team right now is fine, but I do not know how I will be able to go for a Verstappen if he actually gets that grid penalty in Spa. And I think that in this scenario, having Piastri instead of Russell is bad, is not very good. Probably. Or does it even matter actually? No, I think it doesn't matter. Scratch that, forget about that, because if I go for Verstappen, I'll have to sell this second, both of these. I'll have to sell both Norris and Piastri to get to Verstappen anyway. So it doesn't really matter, does it? It doesn't, no. So if I want to go for Verstappen next weekend, I will have to go for this, and then go for something like a Magnussen or Ricciardo or Tsunoda, or maybe even Stroll or Alonso, I'm not sure. But at least for now, this is the general idea. There is the other idea for Hungary, which is just to stick with the 1A driver asset, in which case I'm considering keeping Red Bull instead of Mercedes, and if we do that in general, we will not have Sargent and Zhou. Sargent for sure, Zhou maybe we have to keep, but and also if we go for that one, which is one good driver and the rest are C-tier drivers, that's probably a better method to generate some budget cap, some cost cap. But if we go for this one, it probably means that we get a lot less budget cap, but we will probably score some more points than the other method. So I'm not really sure about that one. Let's see how that would look like. However, if I reset, let's just reset our team. Okay, so what I mean is staying with something like this, and potentially I could do two change, either stay like this, pretty much the same team as this, or go for a McLaren, and then maybe instead of Zhou you can go for let's say Yuki, for example. Okay, something like this. If I do this, then it will be very easy for us to go for Verstappen instead of Norris, and then for like a Sargent instead of some of these four guys for the next race. However, the thing is, in Hungary, because there are not a lot of overtakes, that usually means that the C tier driver assets don't do very well in F1 fantasy, because a lot of their points usually comes from changing positions all the time due to different strategies and all of that, and if you pick the correct ones, they will get around 10 or maybe even 15 points, as you can see from Hülkenberg from the last 4 races, as you can see from Magnussen pretty much for his whole year, especially the last part again, because Haas is doing very well. So I'm not expecting these guys to score decent enough points. That's the thing. That's the thing that keeps me away from this kind of build. Because I think that having the actual good drivers in the good cars and some bad drivers and bad cars is a better idea, a better situation to be in, instead of having some good drivers and the good constructors and then some guys that are probably going to score like 1 or 2 points maybe. That's the issue that I've got here, is that I think Magnussen, Hülkenberg, Gasly, Tsunoda, all of these guys will not score well enough. Okay, that's what I'm thinking right now. So it feels like the better idea is to go for these guys. And if McLaren is actually strong and gets at least a double podium, let's say Norris is second or first and Piastri is third, for example, this will be very, very, very strong. As I said, instead of Magnussen and Pierre, let's say it's Piastri and Sargent. Okay, so that's what I'm thinking. But this obviously, as I said before, has a bigger negative for Spa and a bigger negative for team building, management of the cost cap and all of that. So yeah, that's my thoughts for the F1 Fantasy game for this weekend. I'm probably going for a team like this that you can see here. So yeah, thanks for watching, and like the video if you liked it, subscribe of course, and we will talk more F1 Fantasy in a week's time. We will talk more about Spa. Thanks for watching and have a nice day. Bye.